Hey, what's up, North County? I'm your host, Randy Doty, and today we are talking all things Atascadero with Loreli Cappel. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Appreciate it for coming in and gracing us during the holiday time.
Merry Christmas Eve.
Right? Yeah. I get my Santa suit on, so in the spirit of Christmas, that way we can. And you got your red sweater on, so we're decking the halls with jolly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So awesome. So gosh, you guys just had the zoo event last weekend. You had Winterfest. You had, you guys have so much stuff going on in
This is the time. This is the season. It's go time.
Is it done for the year?
It is, but the lights will be up in Sunken Gardens, and it's just a beautiful atmosphere all the way through, I think it's January 6th or so, or 10th. So it's going to be really beautiful. I think it's the 10th. Yeah.
What kind of response did you guys get from that? Because I know there was a lot of, obviously, response beforehand, you know. I guess you're going to get responses no matter what, how good, bad, all the time.
Always critiques, but it was amazing, actually. Thanks for bringing it back. Who do I need? Can you please, emails, can you please pass this along to anyone I know? Texts from friends as they drive over the bridge on the freeway looking down at Sunken Gardens. Hey, whoever made this happen, tell them thank you. And we had sponsors, which was amazing. So Central Coast Community Energy was a big sponsor, and the city had to kind of really rally this year to make that happen. And it was the best thing we could have done. It's just, it's beautiful all evening long. The sun sets early now at this time of year, so you're cruising, you're getting off work, you're leaving City Hall, you're walking to the movies. It's a really beautiful atmosphere.
And you're right, because prior to lighting of the park, I was trying to envision kind of comparing to Paso, right? Because they got all the trees, and I'm like, Atascadero doesn't really have any trees, so how are they going to compete? How are they going to compare? And, surprisingly, it's quite a bit. It's awesome, especially like you said, from the freeway, all you see is the glow with City Hall behind it.
We've got a beautiful City Hall. It's easy to decorate that and, make that our focal point. So we've got historic City Hall lit up with all of the decorations, and we've got our tree in the downtown, and it's just a festive time, and people are coming out and strolling with their hot cocoa, and even when we don't have events downtown. So it's been awesome, and it's been really warmly received, and we're just really grateful for the outpouring of support. And we're going to.
You guys have a lot of events.
We'd like to do it again next year, and the next year, and the next year. We just got to keep plugging along and putting money away for it and getting some sponsors. So.
Well, I think you guys are on the right track. You guys are really attracting like the locals. Not so much, you bring in the tourists as well, obviously, but the locals is, I think there are a lot of local family-friendly events, that's really bringing the people out of their homes and into downtown Atascadero.
Snowball fight, 70 tons of snow, Santa. It was an amazing weekend last weekend.
How many people do you think showed up for that?
I heard it was going to be something like 10,000 people, but this is, again, it's our people. So that would be amazing. We're a city of 30,000, mind you. So, to get a third of our population would be amazing. We get a lot of our neighbors. I think we've heard the highest compliment I can take as someone who now works for the city, but I'm really just a resident, of course, first and foremost, is when our neighbors to the north and south and Slow and Paso are like, we wanted to get away from it all. We wanted to just, feel like we were at home. So we came to Atascadero. We had dinner at Cielo. We cruised around. We have an open container city. So
Good job, Atascadero, huh?
Cruise. You can go to Marv's, grab your michelada and walk around town and cruise it.
But let's stop right there, because that's not all the time, right? It's only during events.
So no, you may actually consume at any time in Atascadero alcohol. You may not be drunk in public, but you may. We are an open container city. I think we're only one of 2 in the state, and you're allowed to just bring your favorite bottle of wine to Sunken Gardens, look at the lights, and have a glass of wine at any time. No problems. No harassment. No.
You just crack open a beer, cruise down the sidewalk?
No, it's not just during events. Hot El Camino nights is our number one. We're going to be passing something in January. We're going to be looking into an ordinance where you no longer have to have those big fences up by ABC and check, wrist bracelets and stuff. It's like, if you want to go into Cielo in the future, you should be able to order your martini, get it in a to-go cup, and leave the premises. That is against the law right now in ABC, but you can bring your own wine and drink at Sunken Gardens or cruise around, and you just can't go in and out of establishments that have ABC licenses.
Right, you can't go in there and buy it and take it out and walk out the door.
But that's looking to change. There's a new Senate Bill 969 that just passed. So we're going to create an entertainment zone, and you can now freely walk about the city, the downtown anyway.
I didn't know that. I thought I heard that, but I thought it was only during events, like a certain, so that's good to know.
We're one of the only cities that didn't create that extra layer of enforcement. It hasn't really caused any problems.
Does the cops know this?
They do. They do. And when I told them about this new ordinance we might be taking to council in January, they were like, we might have increased calls, but we haven't had a problem unless this becomes like New Orleans, and then everybody's cruising around and it's the place for pub crawls for everywhere in the county. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's just a better benefit to our businesses. It's kind of an economic development tool when you can pop in and grab your drink and take it to go from street side, for example, and walk around. Or when you just want to bring your picnic to the park and have a beer or a glass of wine and do what you do. I mean,
crack open a beer, cruise down, and walk down the sidewalk.
It seems to work. We haven't had problems with it. I mean, again, if you are misbehaving and you're under the influence, that's a problem. But
so
we're good.
You guys are wrapping up 2024.
Yep.
Looking back on 2024, I'm sure you guys are going to debrief from this whole year, maybe the first of the year. But I mean, what is your proudest achievement this year for the city of Atascadero?
My role specifically is, first of all, it's the buzz. It's the buzz that's been created. I think that's first and foremost. But my role is to take us from a bedroom community and balance us out a little bit more with jobs and housing. We've always been a place where people commute outward to, and then they go and spend their money outward, and it doesn't help you as a city be fiscally solid. So we need to be a city that also offers everything you can get elsewhere. Where do you buy socks in Atascadero? It's been a problem for us. So you go to work in Paso or Slow, and you go to the grocery store afterwards, and you spend your money there. You fill up for gas over there. That's a lot of leakage. So my goal is to make more opportunities for people to work and stay in Atascadero and shop, and just make us complete. And so I would say the number one win has been the number of people who've decided to open businesses, start at a co-working space. I know I've talked about that a lot, or just work remotely from home and not have to outwardly commute. It's keeping our people here and allowing them to drop their kids off at school, stay in the community where their kids go to school, and then pick them up from school and still have a great job and go grocery shopping in Atascadero, fill up for gas in Atascadero, shop when they can in Atascadero, and go out to dinner. And we have more places for date night. So the buzz that's happening, people are wanting to open their businesses here. They see the potential. So I think that is it. When we have neighbors to the north and south again, and our friends in Paso are like, when we got to get out of town because it's Wine Fest 2024, we come to Atascadero, and I checked out your new restaurant, Barley and Boar. It is top notch, and I'm like, yes, we're winning. So
yeah, because there's a lot of cool little places there in Atascadero, and it seems to be. I mean, right now you guys kind of have the little bit of the with the downtown project.
Oh yeah, a little bit of dust.
And hopefully that's like another 6 months or so?
No, I mean, we are going to be wrapped up in May at the latest. It could be a little earlier if we don't get a ton of rain. We want the rain, so double-edged sword.
So that's the projection, is to be done with the parking, that whole situation downtown.
And you'll be able to park in a couple months down there, even while we're getting everything done. They're laying the pavers right now in the median. So now it's not as messy and confusing. They got it all between 2 K rails. You can still do your one lane in each direction. It's kind of calmed down, and the parking has been reinstated. Get down there and Christmas shop. It's a little bit more calm. The sidewalks are open, mostly.
Loreli, tell me do you have? I'm sure you do. I'm sure you have some favorites, downtown. But what are some of the ones that you were really drawn to that opened up? You were super excited that Atascadero now has this.
Well, I love our unique character. I love the funk. I mean, it's when you see what's happening kind of on Traffic Way. There's some, there's Traffic Records, and now there's a new business opening up called Decades Lounge. So it's where Raconteur Room used to be, and they're gonna just have live music. It's gonna be an awesome venue. They're gonna have beer and wine, light snacks. It's just gonna be a really cool place. So kind of in that scene, I don't have favorites per se because everything's my favorite in Atascadero. But I would say there's a place called Golden State Goods, and she just has curated thrift. She picks the most awesome, cool, creative gifts. for the people you don't know what to get things for, like she has these awesome, they look exactly like real avocados. It's a zip up coin purse.
Oh, really?
So like when you don't know what to get your son's girlfriend for Christmas, you fill it with quarters for her meter and parking meter, and she keeps an avocado on her, on her dashboard in her car. It's actually like, there's really funny novelty things down there.
And now that one's at Golden State Goods?
Golden State Goods is just a couple doors up from like Traffic Records. It's right there on Traffic Way. So
do you ever foresee any of like the Entrada or... I guess you can't really do it, but anything ever like going to full like close down, like to where there's no traffic? Because really Entrada is just like a single, it's one way.
We've looked into that, but it's kind of an economic development. It can be, unless you're like prime time, 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica.
Right.
It's not a great thing for the economics of things. People love the convenience of pulling up, jumping out, grabbing their bramble pie and jumping out. Or Juice Boss needs that 5-minute loading and quick turnaround, which is why you get these parking wars in communities, because the people that work in the restaurants or the hotels are parking in the downtown, and they're all the merchants are like, hey, my people want to park there, but you're at a 7-hour shift at the restaurant. So you get that drama in Slow and Paso. We hear a little bit about it, and we're like, there's a city lot that's mostly open all the time. Just walk a block or two, get your steps in, and then leave.
So you encourage the business owners to, and I would think that the business owners do the same thing.
Yeah.
To kind of encourage their employees to kind of, park away, let the customers pull up to the front of the door.
Yeah, it's the convenience, and even like Anna and Company, she has amazing stuff in there, baby goods, family goods, really cool tools. I got this gift last year for my husband, best gift he said ever. It's called the Meter, MEATER, and it's a USB charged meat thermometer.
Okay.
That has an app that goes to his phone. So we literally are sitting on the couch. We got something in the Traeger. We got something on the barbecue. And he's just checking the temp, wondering when it's time to go baste it or,
nice.
Anyway, so she's got all these gifts. But if you can pull up really quickly, jump out, she's open only by appointment. So she'll literally run it out curbside for you, which works for her. Some people are like, why aren't these businesses open? They are. She does by appointment because that works for her and her family right now. And she's got great stuff in there. And she's been open for events, and she was killing it. She had 675 people in there on Light Up the Downtown night in her store. And it was just going off. I took video footage of it because I thought, oh my gosh, I've never seen this many people coming in and out of one store. And
really, you got to get out on foot. You got to put the steps in to really see the businesses down there, because driving doesn't do it any justice.
And it's fun. It's just a couple blocks. Our downtown is sweet and quaint and charming. Just walk a couple blocks. Start at the Colony Cinema, walk up to Traffic Way, head down El Camino, and you got a hot lap in there. It's a great little half-mile little loop. It's perfect.
All right, so last time you were in, we only got to Del Rio, really, with our conversation of what's happening in Atascadero, but there's a lot of talk. There's a lot of chitter chatter in the background. Nobody really knows 100%, I don't think. But we started in downtown, or the north end of Atascadero, Del Rio, which is still, you got that whole shopping center happening.
Opening in May now.
That's opening in May. Okay, and then across the freeway, which is going to be the new development, which hasn't broken ground or started any of that kind of stuff. But the main one is down here, kind of Del Rio, El Camino, that shopping center. So again, tell us what's going into that shopping complex.
Yeah, so that's the Valley Fresh. It's called the Del Rio Marketplace, but it's the anchor is Valley Fresh, and then it's going to have Central Coast Distillery, which used to be downtown, but they needed a much bigger space. Now they're going to have a patio, thousands of square feet. They're going to be distilling their amazing spirits. It's also called Forager.
Okay.
So they're going to be opening up. There's going to be a restaurant, not to be named yet. We're finding out. Across the street is going to be UCLA Health. I think I talked a little bit about that.
By the hotel?
Yeah, it'll be an oncology center too. So we'll have a lot of connections down to great medical down in LA as well. But they're just at phase 1. So they're just putting in the parking lot now. Valley Fresh should be open. I've just heard they'll just say spring. But we've got a phase 2, 3, and 4, which is going to be releasing out to businesses that are looking to locate on the Central Coast. I mean, it could be research and development. It could be a home do-it place that sells cabinets, and you want a warehouse and a kind of a showroom. So lots of different things, but we're looking at this as being like a place for people to do commerce and have a job center. It's walking distance to homes all over the place. So that's a pretty cool thing too.
Have you already had some interest from some outside businesses?
We have, yeah. Clint Pierce from Madonna Enterprises is the landlord and the owner of that property, and he and his team are working on booking. So we've got Century 21 on the job for local bookings. They've got an outside source, ASU commercial that is booking all these things up. So we're just sending people their way. We're kind
and it's
of
also going to have living spaces too,
They
right?
will. The third floor so it's 3 stories on the second couple phases. It would be like a flex use on the ground floor, roll-up door, a couple thousand square feet to do whatever you do, make some noise. Second floor is more of the office, and then third floor is residential. They could kind of swap those and flex them depending on what the market says, but it's pretty cool. And I mean, this could be our employment center. It's designed to handle all that, so we're pretty excited, and we'll see what other retail comes in. I know that's what most people want to know.
Well, yeah. I mean, Atascadero, obviously, the focus is Sunken Gardens, right? That's kind of like the hub.
It is, yeah.
And then now you have the Del Rio kind of start to blow up, and then it can be across the freeway there.
Yeah.
So is the long-term plan is to somehow fuse that whole stretch
It's
together?
kind of pulse points of activity. They're going to have different flavors, I think, is what it is. Downtown will be, the place where you just enjoy. It's our living room. It really is. And then it's where you would gather. But there'll be places like out at Del Rio, there'll be a distillery now where you can go grab a bite, enjoy, pick up dinner, go, or you can do it all in one place. You can get your medical, you can get your food, you can go to the grocery shop, and you can be working and you could be living all in that area. It's kind of like a 360-degree center of living.
Yeah, a movie complex.
It's kind of crazy. It's just, it's kind of cool how it's developing. And just over the freeway is the Barrel Creek project, which is coming along. I think they're really starting to sign on some letters of intent from some clients, or prospective businesses. So that's going to be more of like a Tin City-ish flavor. So it's just that whole area is gonna transform. Those are our last couple really big development sites. We just got Del Rio Ranch, which is also the other corner across from, it's the former Walmart property, but across from Bargain Market, grocery outlet. That was just approved for an RV resort.
Oh, really?
So really interesting, but the tourism factor is, something we still have a lot of potential.
What's the RV resort? Anything that we would know?
They don't have the actual tenant. I know they've talked to like Red Tail and Flying Flags and those folks, but this is actually just owned by a local property owner who's been working with the development team, and they're looking for that. But they have it fully entitled for an RV resort, kind of Cava Robles-esque, but
that's
it's got some elevation to it, so it'll have some really beautiful views.
Okay.
Kind of look over to the west side, and it will have some retail to support it. Probably some tourist serving and local serving retail on the corner. Maybe it's the brewery and a place to gather. It'll be fun. That whole place is going to be awesome. So.
Wow.
I know.
So as we go into town,
Yes.
now we go into the Kmart shopping center. Okay, so
Glad you asked.
so many speculations.
Yeah.
So many, hey, what's going in? Oh, I heard this is going in, and nothing ever comes out of it.
Yeah.
Do we know?
We don't have names, but the good news is, as of October, and I think I've mentioned this in the past, as of October 1st, Kmart is no longer paying their lease. I mean, imagine, they've been paying and paying, even though they were in their bankruptcy proceedings. They've been paying to the landlord. So now they are done.
So
They're
now he
cut
needs
free,
money.
and now he is actually working with several businesses to divide up the 70,000 square foot space that was Kmart into a couple, maybe 2 or 3 storefronts, and he's signing leases right now actively. I just talked to him last week. I was like, what can I share? I'm going to go on What's Up North County. People want to know. People were calling me because there was some activity. They were repaving the parking lot. He's just getting it spruced up and ready for what's next. But he will be doing a full facelift and redevelopment on that center as he's signing his leases. So he has a couple letters of intent, which don't mean anything until you got a signed lease.
But we don't have any names
We
yet.
don't. I know he was looking for a retailer and a grocer and maybe a clothier kind of store. So we'll see what actually pencils out. We can only kind of speculate, but he's getting closer, and now they're actually working on the details of the leases. So
Very cool.
I can't wait for them to be able to just yell that from the rooftops, because that's our number one question. And it's been our kind of our missing puzzle piece for so long. It's sitting there boarded up. It's just not good.
How long has that been? 10 years?
Well, Kmart pulled out right before COVID, so it's been 4 years now, 5 years.
That's. I thought it was much longer than that.
Yeah,
Maybe
it feels like forever.
They kind of started phasing out. Really, it wasn't really the place to go.
Yeah.
So, and maybe that was just, they finally just closed it down, and then it just
sat, and they paid on it all the way till this October. So that's clear and done.
Okay.
So that will really,
that'd be cool.
That will bring more too. As soon as those tenants are signed, more tenants will come and say, hey, what about this vacant parcel on the corner? Then he'll have a complete center and can make it all work together and revamp it from just an outdoor strip mall, which it's been for years, to a more of a gathering place where there's outdoor seating and there's some other places, and it won't just be a sea of parking. It'll be kind of enclosed and a little bit more. He'll probably build another pad or two. So we'll see some changes. It just takes a while, but
very cool.
Yeah.
So it's just growing. There's so many spaces. So let's get, I know you brought a list. So
I did, yeah.
Let's talk about, there's a new brick pizza place.
Yes. Okay. So Lebber's Pizza is going into on Traffic Way to the former Biblos location. They're taking both suites and they're doing like an oven baked pizza. If you haven't already tried Lebber's, you can find them catering at a lot of the wineries around. And I hear they're just the best. I'm dying to try it. But everybody's said, I know we've got pizza, but this is not your typical pizza. This is different, very artisan. And I've seen I was talking about Nextdoor earlier, the app, like where can I get a really great oven baked pizza, like wood fired oven pizza. So this will be the place for some of that. I know, CLO has a good one too, and they can, we've got some things going on downtown, but I think it'll be a good hot spot. And they just applied for their ABC license, so they'll have beer and wine and
when's the projection for them to be open?
They submitted their tenant improvements, so I'm thinking I give them about 6 months before they're open, maybe sooner. I hope sooner. I never count my chickens before I cut the ribbon, because
until that door opens and the sign says
takes so
ready
much
to go.
Patience from our residents and from us, because I'm just all excited, and then it's like rain delay. So
now, do you ever have what do you call that? A shush clause, or where like you can't say anything?
Yes.
What do you call that?
Just
like a gag order?
or a you sign a non-disclosure agreement.
Okay. So does businesses do that? Like sometimes do you have this to where you can't even tell
They
your
tell
husband?
me I'm not ready to say anything. And we just say, okay, great. We'll talk about the letters of intent for now that you're working on and the leases that you're working on until you are ready to say it. And would you like us to share it from our network, or would you like to share it? We always are respectful of who wants to spread the good word when it finally is ready to be announced. So yeah. And sometimes you don't want to say anything, even if you're pretty confident and they say, go ahead and talk about it. Like when we were talking about Jersey Mike's and Dutch Brothers Coffee coming to the old Burger King, you don't want to say it, because even though they're poking around and asking questions about the drive-through and you think you know who it is, you want them to be able to announce it too. But our residents are like, we lost another business, Burger King. Well, Burger King didn't, they were done. They kind of wrapped it up and didn't want to be here. So you don't want to be the one to say, we're getting this amazing business, and then something comes up and they couldn't get the drive-through approved, or they wanted
Which that happened a lot as they opened up the Galaxy Theater area.
Oh, yeah.
There was quite a few businesses that I heard that were coming, and they never came because of one reason or another.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good one, and they just closed their bankruptcy hearing. That building was kind of under a bankruptcy. We lost Galaxy, but now we have Bruce Sanborn and Sanborn Associates doing the Colony Theater, and they are there for the long term.
Which they own the one in San Luis as well.
They do, yeah. And so they are leasing. They don't own the building, but they're leasing, and they have a new landlord. They're working on booking all those up. You can see they've cleaned it up. They pressure washed, planted new trees. They are actively getting more tenants in. But it was in limbo for a very long time, and it's just not great for downtown. We were losing that synergy. But to be honest, the whole project was planned, and you've got these lots that are vacant. Now we're trying to that's part of my job, is finding the buyer to buy up those properties or unlock the potential to build out the rest of it, because Wildfields came in living on a prayer that this was going to be this amazing bustling center. Sure, the movie theater went in, it's great. Movies took a little bit of a tank, so get out there and support your local theaters. But now they're coming back, and we're getting more movies and blockbuster hits, and now Wildfields seems to be doing better. But if we can get those other properties, there's 3 other properties in that center that are just sitting there.
Yeah, because
in
there's never
limbo.
used to be on the one that faces Round Table.
Yes.
I think there's a couple spots there that never ever had
Just
anything.
empty pads.
And then you have Que Pasa. You have the donut shop, and then right next to Que Pasa was a yogurt place or something that's been closed for a while.
Yep.
Right, and then there's
Yogurt
one more I
Creations,
think right next to the movie theater itself that's never had anything in there. Correct?
Yeah, and they had leases signed, but
Yeah.
when they were in bankruptcy, they lost those tenants because they're like, "Who's our landlord going to be if you're selling the property and it's going
Right.
through a bankruptcy process?" So now there's a lot more interest because they have more givens in their equation. They kind of know now what it's going to look like, and the theater's getting a new lease and working on that lease. So it's going in the right direction. I think we have a couple buyers for those sites, or just some people that are very interested in talking with the people that own the property, saying, look, if you're not going to develop it, can you just, can we
Right.
take it? I saw what it was approved for. I think we can make it pencil if we put residential on the top. That seems to be what is making projects work.
Really?
Yeah, retail on the bottom, residential.
In the location and just building up on top.
Yeah,
up
like
on top?
along Capistrano, along where Round Table is, that whole wall was supposed to be like retail on the ground, residential.
Interesting.
To make it work, they've got, tuck under parking, kind of a structured kind of thing.
Huh.
Bank of America closed, and they're leaving that location. So now we have more potential
Up on the hill.
for some synergy
Okay.
right there in our downtown. So, hated to see them go, but they were happy to just say, well, we'll just leave a teller there, like an actual ATM, and we've got it
kind of out of the way. Until you just said that, I'm
Yeah.
like, where?
Yeah,
And then
it's across the street, but
kind of forget about
imagine
it.
that whole center as it's bustling, and it's right down. This is our expansion area for downtown. Like
Yeah.
Paso's got a nice grid system. Well, we have a middle school in the middle of our downtown.
Right.
So it's great because it brings lots of activity after school gets out, and the kids are always, at the coffee shop spending money. I don't know where they're getting all that, but old Sylvester's and
Yeah,
coffee
there's
shops all day.
all that downtown. So there's a place called Little Cousins.
Yeah.
What is that?
So that is a kids' clothing store, very high-end retail. This gal is a local Atascadero resident. She's been running an online business, and she has this amazing platform. But she started her online business, and then she opened up a brick and mortar right there on Entrada, right across from the new Marin's wine bar. So,
Okay.
So we've got Marin's Vineyard, a little new wine tasting shop, and we've got Little Cousins, which is a darling little boutique for kids, very high-end and fancy, but you can get all your gifts there for anyone.
And that's
under
down in
the
Entrada
age of
as well?
5. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's kind of bustling. And then you got, like I said, Lebbers, you've got pizza coming, you've got Decades Lounge, which will be opening. And then we've got a couple others. Let's see. Oh, Amsterdm Coffee is open. I know we talked about that quite a bit, but they're right there on the park, and it is a great addition.
He's
to just
the old
bringing vibrancy.
optometrist
Yeah.
office there.
Yeah, Dr. Chaff's office.
Yeah.
So. And then the coolest thing that I wanted to talk about is a project that the city owns these empty parcels where the bridge that takes you over the creek to the movie theater is. Well, that was called Colony Square, or I'm sorry, Centennial Square. So we took that surplus property, we had to send it through this surplus land act process that the state requires if you have extra land. They wanted to go to affordable housing. Well, no affordable housing people said it was big enough for them to make a project on it. So we did a request for proposals from developers, and we had 6 or 7 developers raise their hand and say, we want to throw our hat in the ring and take that parcel and buy it from you and build something. So we narrowed it down, and now we're working with one awesome developer who has a project. I think we have some imagery for it. So it's the Centennial Plaza Development project. It's going to be a beautiful 3-story project with a distillery and restaurants on the ground floor.
Is this on the other side?
This is on the Sunken Gardens side of the bridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the corner, like
Yes.
across from the junior high.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's right next to adjacent to the city parking lot, right there
Okay.
by City Hall.
Right.
So it's going to have a view of the Sunken Gardens from the front, and it's going to have a view of the riverbed from the back, which for us is awesome. You think about things that happen in the riverbed when there's nobody looking, it can get a little seedy, but when we have a really cool development like that, if you've ever been downtown Slow, you've got Novo. It's just a stunning restaurant that looks over onto the creek. Well, this is kind of that idea.
Creaky Tiki.
Creaky
right
Tiki,
there on the back.
yeah. I mean, it's got eyes on the creek, fun activity, lights up all night, activity going till 10 o'clock at night. It's going to be a really cool environment, and there'll be residential. So that's actually a really interesting third story like idea. So it'll be like 8 or 9 residential units, offices on the second floor.
Trying to envision where it's going to be placed.
So there's a bridge, like right where you take that little bridge over, it's going to straddle it. It's going to actually arch over the bridges, or the bridge, yeah.
Oh, so it's going to be right there.
Yeah, right there on the creek. So it's pretty cool.
Oh,
so from the sidewalk on Sunken Gardens, which is East Mall, all the way to the creek, that's the whole property that we owned, and we are now selling it to a fair market value to a developer.
Wow, so that's going to be another project downtown that's going to be,
it's just going to change the atmosphere from a sleepy town to a little bit more vitality, and that's kind of important. I mean, you see Paso, and that's active and vibrant. We are not like Paso. We have our own flavor, but again, we have a lot of dentist's office, and it's very serene. There's not a lot of activity. We've got a coffee shop in Sylvester's, and now we've got Amsterdam. But this is going to take it to, maybe there'll be some live music. Maybe there's going to, solidify that connection to the rest of downtown too, at the Colony Square where the movie theater is too. So.
Wow.
Yeah, stepping it
up. We've only gotten halfway. We're not even halfway through town.
I know.
I mean, I feel like we should not let all the stuff out. So that way, because I mean, there's so many different fingers, of Atascadero, but really that downtown Sunken Garden area is really the nucleus. That's the center, the atom.
It is.
And then everything goes from there.
It's kind of what makes us who we are too. So we don't want to lose that relaxing feel too. I mean, so it'll be a slow, kind of iteration of new development coming in. But you look at what they've done with Dr. Chaff's office at Amsterdam, it's still just charming and beautiful. They didn't destroy the building. They might renovate it someday in the future, the new owner, but...
Well, Corey and Kate really have, they also have Libretto in Paso, which is a downstairs piano bar.
Yeah.
They have the Amsterdam in Paso with the piano, in there as well. And having their coffee is amazing.
Top notch.
Their employees is so welcoming. And then being downtown, I know they just opened up right before all the activities really started happening. I think like a week or two before the big where the Ferris wheel it comes down there.
You're right.
And so, but I know, like I said, they're really excited to open up because of all the stuff that is going on downtown Atascadero. Because there is a lot. I mean, right there in that area, and like I told Corey, I said you couldn't have opened up in a better spot for having foot traffic. And
they got their ABC license, so they'll be looking to do maybe beer in the evenings. I think they're just phasing in with coffee right now. They've got that beautiful outdoor frontage right on the park, and again, we're an open container city, so get a beer to go, and then hopefully when we pass our new ordinance, if we pass our new ordinance, we'll be able to just cruise around.
So that's on the table for 2025?
Yeah, okay. Probably January. So we're working on that right now. Yeah.
But that has to go to vote.
Yeah.
Okay, so that'll be on the ballots in
It's
November.
Just goes to city council.
Okay.
It's an ordinance.
So it's just you guys approved it.
Yeah, the state approved it, and they said cities are now allowed to adopt ordinances that allow them to do this, which just means less. Kind of $5,000 for all the ABC plastic fencing that has to go up to corral everyone into Sunken Gardens every time we have a fall fest or an event that sells beer. It could be very different. You can say, hey, just don't leave the downtown and make sure you're 21. They'll ID you when you get your drink, and you'll have like a stamp or something. But now you can walk about the downtown and stroll. You just can't take your beer from one restaurant.
So that seems like something that will pass.
It seems like it, but there's some other little things that go with it. So it's just up to the council to say we represent the people. We think this will be good for Atascadero, or maybe there's some challenges.
Because it's a cost factor too. So then therefore you don't have to put up the fences.
Well, you have to think too about the vendors. Will they be making as much money if they come for Fall Festival if the restaurants can now sell it? So you have to think about it from a decision maker standpoint of are we harming our events? So will that be a problem? I don't know. I think it just adds more. I mean, as staff, we've analyzed it and talked about it with police and our events folks, Terry. We just said, what if we set these hours? And so it looks like it's going well.
tell me how, you know what, and I'm going to stop right there as far
Sure.
as like, expanding more into
Sure.
Atascadero, because I want to bring you in, like I said, I want like once a month to where we can go, okay, so we, last month we got up to the middle of town.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, what's happening, but what happens during your guys' meetings? I mean, how do you guys really map out all the stuff that you guys do?
Well, my favorite meeting of the year, we do it about once every year, but it's really a strategy session every 2 years with our city council. And we have new council members now because Heather Moreno is now moving on to the county board of supervisors. And so we have a new mayor, which is Charles Bourbeau, who's had a long longevity on the council. But Seth Peak is a new council member. We're going to sit down in probably early February and we do a strategic planning session where we talk about what matters most to our decision makers because they represent the people and are elected by the people. So we're like, what are the hot topics? What do you want me as the economic developer to do next? How do we develop our economy in a way that still creates an Atascadero that everyone wants to live in?
And can.
So you asked what I'm most proud about in 2024. Honestly, it was just announced that Astound Broadband Home Solutions just got a $6 million grant for putting in more fiber in Atascadero. Those are the priorities that the council set. They say, we really need to get out ahead of this. We know there's money coming from the federal government and the state. And if we don't tell you, Loreli, that it's your job to go after that and write a strategic plan, whatever you need to do to get us ready for that, if you don't start now, in 2 years, we're going to miss that funding. So we want this to be our number one priority. Maybe next year it's childcare. Maybe next year it's still attracting and growing more business. Maybe it's just restaurants because we have half the restaurants Paso does. We don't have as much tourism, however, but we still have the same population. We do need to serve our people, and we need more diversity in restaurants, as you know.
What does that mean with the broadband? Does that mean what exactly does that mean to like say me?
Oh yes, okay. So we use it every day at home for streaming, but there are so many people in our community, especially in Atascadero, that work from home. They're telecommuters. They are, remote workers working for the Silicon Valley, Apple. We have people working for Apple. We have the HR director for Uber. We have a Netflix corporate attorney. Like we have some people doing really, really cool things in our town.
Atascadero?
Well, there's this thing called Albert's List that I just found in the last couple months that is a kind of a get-together for people who are all telecommuters and coworkers, because you start to lose your mind. I did it for 15 years, because if you don't have the job that you graduated with your degree for in your region, you have to go elsewhere to work, right? And you just work remotely, you make it work, you travel. So this Albert's List is bringing people together in these spots. Our co-working spaces have been hosting them, but they'll have it at a restaurant. And we had 40 people.
Was that the tech the tech group that got together?
We had 40 people last Thursday or Tuesday at the co-working space in Atascadero, Bridgeworks. And they were all, I had never seen any of them. I'm like, who are you? They're like, we're Atascadero residents. We're Paso residents. It's just a North County mixer. And it was the coolest thing. So my whole point is, I am here to get high-speed fiber so people can do their jobs. We do not have high-speed internet fiber up in Santa Ana on those roads, the Spaghetti Hill. It's a hard-to-reach place, and it's hard to get underground solid fiber that's not going to go out every time the wind blows on our poles. So Astound Broadband just got a huge grant. They're going to help. Charter's been making improvements. Atascadero has been putting in money for that. The city council dedicated to $1.5 million to advancing broadband, and we've got 10G fiber in our downtown now. That doesn't sound like a big deal to you, but when you're at home and your kids are on Zoom or they're streaming something over here and you're playing and gaming, and you're working from home and you need to do a teleconference, it doesn't work. Even teleappointments for elderly people so they don't have to leave their house. Those are things that can't happen without the high-speed fiber. So that's one of my missions is to get
that's
better
kicking
fiber.
off in 2025.
Yes.
Okay.
They're going to be getting that in. They have to use all the money by 2026. So it's go time for them. They just are getting that money released, and they're going to be putting in fiber to some homes that are not served currently, except for by maybe satellite, which isn't always the best solution for some people. So
wow.
Yeah.
Well, very cool.
Kind of nerdy and techy, but it's fun and it's necessary, whether we want it or not. It's coming, and we got to get on top of it and get the grant money while we can.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Loreli, I really appreciate you coming in
you.
and giving us, some tidbits.
Yeah. Just the tip
is
of the surface.
there one tidbit that you can tell me? Go ahead.
Very good one. failed to mention, but I just mentioned our co-working spaces. There is something really exciting coming up, which I feel like is a big part of what we do here and what I'm doing here in Atascadero, which is giving people an option to have a quality job in our town, so our kids don't have to leave and go to Georgia again to like look elsewhere for their career. So Story Labs in Atascadero has created a business accelerator. So I'm very excited for them, and I'm excited to be part of it. So this business accelerators, the idea is in 10 years, we'll have 1,000 more jobs in Atascadero, quality jobs where you can afford to buy a home, where you can stay in Atascadero and you don't have to leave. You can stay in Paso. So it's a North County accelerator, and it's going to be funded by donors around the area who also believe in this mission to create quality jobs. So our next generation has an opportunity to stay here. And it could be tech, it could be I make ice cream. I'm an entrepreneur, but the whole idea is you go through this 9-month accelerator process, and at the end, there's a pitch contest. And you come in and you say, hey, I built this app. It's for architecture firms. I want to grow it. I'm currently working for Apple. This is my side hustle. Whatever that is, that's just an example.
Right.
And at the end, they could get $5,000 or $20,000 to launch, to take their business to the next level. And they're going to get coaching, quality coaching from people who do this in other areas. They have things like that, in San Luis Obispo, surrounding Cal Poly at the Hot House.
Right.
But this is something specifically for, if you're not a Cal Poly student, if you need that support and you want to take it to the next level, you can get the coaching. We're going to create an ecosystem here so people know they don't have to commute out from Paso, Atascadero, Creston to do what they do. So that for me is a thrill. Again, nerdy, but very exciting because my job here is to make it so people can continue to live here on the Central Coast and be prosperous and afford a home. And that's not easy on the highly desirable Central Coast. So it's pretty cool.
That sounds very interesting.
I know.
And that's going to be next year?
That is. It's starting in 2025. They're taking applications right now at storylabs.com.
Okay.
Yeah, North County Accelerator. It's pretty cool.
And how many people are they taking?
They're probably going to take about 10.
About 10?
I think it's probably 8 to 10 is a good cohort for round one. But we see this model as this is just the start. If this is our pilot process, I say but it's privately led by Greg Squires at Story Labs and their organization. He's a business coach. He knows how to bring in the right people to help with, okay, you want to do marketing, you want to do e-commerce, you need to go get your pitch ready so you can go get your next round of funding. We will help you with all that. By the time they walk out of there, they're going to be able to go in and say, I need $7 million of funding. It's very Shark Tank-ish, really. That's cool. Really what this is getting them ready for Shark Tank for the big guys to say, I need this much money to make my business grow here in Paso Robles or Atascadero. And that's it. So
that's awesome.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, you guys are doing a great job in Atascadero. I mean, like I said, between all the cool businesses, the little mom and pop shops coming in that have some cool, unique, styles. It's not, cookie cutter. I mean, it's just all really, like you said, unique flavors and attractive. I mean, it's such a different, vibe, downtown Atascadero now than it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's growing. The tourists are coming. The locals, are really enjoying it. So, like I said, you guys over there at whatever you guys are, whoever's part of your guys' group is doing an amazing job.
I think the people did it. I think the businesses have all just brought their own flavor, and I think the community's supporting them. So it's all happening on its own, but we're definitely there kind of helping move things along as best we can as government.
Awesome. Well, again, I appreciate you coming on and sharing with what's happening there in Atascadero, and look forward to next month's segment.
Yes.
So that way in 2025, what's happening? What can you share?
Yes.
What are some of the hush-hush stuff that now we can tell everybody about? I'm looking forward to that one right there.
Me too. I think we're going to get pretty close with some of these developments that we've been holding our breath for a while. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for coming on. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. And can't wait to see what's happening for 2025 next year with Atascadero.
All right. Can't wait.
Awesome.
See you then.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks.
Well, there you have it, guys. Hey, make sure you guys get down to Atascadero and check out all the cool businesses. You guys really got to park and walk around, head down Entrada, around the Sunken Gardens. They've got so much cool stuff going on around. Make sure you guys support your local business. But as always, guys, we can't do this without you and our sponsors. We'd like to thank Escalade Wine Travelers Hideaway, Visit Atascadero, 805 Customs, MGP Coating, North County Junk Removal, The Trailer Barn, Story Termite Pest Control, Borhone Auto Center, Kennedy Club Fitness, Airflow Filter Services, and Suprema Meat Markets. Thanks again, guys. Loreli, thanks for coming on. We'll see you in 2025.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company, from rodents to termites. We can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today. We can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Hi, it's Alex with Suprema Meat Market. We are a Mexican meat market with a taqueria. Come enjoy our high-quality cuts of meats. We offer choice and prime Harris Ranch beef, as well as chicken, seafood, and pork items. In the taqueria, all of our tacos come with handmade tortillas. We also offer specialty items like chilaquiles and chile rellenos. Come enjoy Taco Tuesday with Suprema. We offer our tacos at $1.99 each. Suprema Meat Market is located at 8950 Montecito Avenue in Atascadero.
Are you tired of looking at that worn-out concrete garage floor, patio, or porch? Look no further than MGP Coatings, where customer service reigns supreme. Our team goes above and beyond to ensure your satisfaction every step of the way. Before we even start coating, we meticulously repair your concrete, ensuring a flawless finish that lasts. And here's the best part. Our Pentec coatings are 4 times stronger than epoxy, so they won't chip or peel, making maintenance a breeze. Plus, they come with a limited lifetime warranty. Call us today at 805-952-5301 or check out our Facebook and Instagram and experience the MGP coating difference. Don't wait. Transform your garage, patio, porch, or driveway and become a part of the MGP coating family.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
Hi, this is Omid
and Deanna
at North County Junk Removal. We are a business known for helping our neighbors and our community.
Let us help you save money and get rid of any unwanted items.
And rest assured that our professional team adheres to global standards of safety and recycling. We are fully licensed and insured for your peace of mind.
We are locally owned and operated, and we look forward to helping you with all your junk removal needs.
Please call us at 805-769-6966.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We're all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.
Hi, welcome to Kennedy Club Fitness, where we have something for everyone. We have weights, cardio, group exercise classes, racquetball, basketball, swimming, and pickleball coming soon. Here at Kennedy, we're committed to health, wellness, and community. Stop by any of our 4 locations: Paso Robles, Atascadero, San Luis Obispo, and Arroyo Grande, or check out our website at kennedyclubs.com.